I've got this very clear picture of sitting behind these elderly ladies at a service early in the piece when we first arrived, and they were just sitting like this during the service. And our translator picked up one of the things they'd been working on, and he did the reading in Gergiko, and they just sat up and they started talking to each other, really animated. They were so excited, and I was so glad that I was sitting behind them, because I was able to see that reaction, and I thought, yes, these elderly ladies who don't know how to read, they don't know French, it means something to them, they can understand that.
So there's up to 50,000 Mukulu people. Some of those, of course, live away from the language area in the capital city and other regional towns, but the majority still live in the language area in different villages around the Gera mountain range.
Mount Gera, for the Mukulu people, it has spiritual connotations. Each peak has a spirit, each tribe has a spirit, and it's all connected with a mountain. The local church has always been involved in the project because it was their initiative to have the New Testament translated into Gergiko.
When we first arrived in June 1992 just to have a look at the village, they showed us what they'd been doing. It was handwritten Gospel of Luke in an exercise book. So they had already been working on it themselves with very limited knowledge of how to do translation.
Before we even moved to the village, we were able to send some of these men to get training with SIL. It has mainly been a series of men from the church that have been involved in different ways in the translation. David has never seen himself as the translator. He has always said he's the facilitator. He has just made it possible for them.
There's been a literacy program here for many years. That was the first thing we started doing, was working with the community to develop literacy materials. It's important to have a literacy program alongside Bible translation so that people are able to use the scriptures that are produced.
In relation to the language, they're not only going to get a New Testament because they're going to have an alphabet, they now have a written language. They now have mother tongue education for preschool children, so that the children are making such a good transition into the French school system because they have learned to read and write in Gergiko, that the government school teachers are actually saying to the parents, please send your children to mother tongue literacy classes first.
À travers l'alphabétisation, la population a beaucoup bénéficié. Même les gens qui ne savaient pas lire et écrire, même des vieilles personnes, ils ont connu lire et écrire en français et en notre langue.
So the church do use some of the scriptures, but they still haven't quite transferred to it, I don't think. So a lot of them already have all their songbooks in their smartphones and portions of the New Testament. Pretty soon they will have the whole New Testament into it. That's the desire of my heart, that they will learn to use it and use it in their families, use them to bring up their children in the ways of the Lord.